Laura.
Start young and all right.
World's famous Hender's too.
Our
Oh, that's nice.
Wait
Wait a minute. Let's do a little harder. Away in the manger, no crib for a pig. No, there's the Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky look down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. What else? Got one you want? Silent Night? Start, Mom. Silent night, holy bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. William? Another song we'll sing or tis season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Sing ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Is it troll or toll?
I don't know.
Toll.
Is it told?
Had a very shiny nose.
Like the light bulb.
And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glowed.
Like the light bulb.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names.
Like Pinocchio.
They never let poor Rudolph join in the reindeer
Like
game.
Monopoly.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Up, up, up.
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you join my sleigh tonight? And all the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Now, I want you to sing that song that you were singing for in the church yesterday.
Oh, no.
Sing that little bit of it. Yeah, the boogie woogie choo choo.
Yeah. Y'all sing.
Boogie, boogie, woogie, got all over the place. Got him stacked to the ceiling, got him sticking in your face. My baby likes to rock it like a boogie woogie choo-choo train.
Keep going.
Baby likes to rock it. Baby likes to rock it. Baby likes to rock it like a boogie woogie choo-choo train. Got the boogie woogie woogies all over the place. Got him stacked to the ceiling, got him sticking in your face. My baby likes to rock it like a boogie woogie
Oh, yeah.
train.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
You're naming those things.
Hey,
Look out.
Mason.
Hey, Tony.
What you got there, Mason?
Hey,
Yeah.
I ain't
been a while.
I haven't either.
Oh, that's stand back. It's
I
hard
don't
to
know.
man.
It's been so long since I've seen him.
Sure better keep your
He
distance.
is big. Merry Christmas.
As far as the Christmas story goes in the Bible, I think that's maybe the least appreciated story there is about the Christmas story anyway. And so what I did was I tried to figure out something about these wise men and where they came from and what they, who wise men were, how it was they came to see this star, and that kind of thing. So what we do know about them is they came from the east, so they probably came from someplace over in around the Euphrates. There was a large civilization over in that area that had been one of the oldest civilizations there was. It was a great area of trade and commerce and knowledge. And the wise men were probably, I'm sure, members of the royal court in Babylon or some large city where they came from, probably had served the king in some capacity. It's my belief that they were astronomers. And I guess the reason I believe that's because they saw this star. And if you look back, astronomy is the oldest of the sciences. And I guess that only stands to reason since, it was, astronomy just started out as an observation of the heavens and a charting and an identification of stars and constellations. And they even had, I read, they identified them by constellations and by individual stars, and they also rated them as far as magnitude. There were 4 different magnitudes of stars, and they had identified thousands of stars and hundreds or even thousands of constellations before Christ was born. So there was quite a bit of knowledge about the heavens, and they certainly could navigate through celestial means at that time. So they knew a great deal about the heavens. And it's my belief that in keeping with the prophecies in the Old Testament about a star rising in Judah, that God placed a star in the heavens that these guys saw, that they couldn't line up with their records about stars. This was an unidentified star, I think they saw this star for the first time. Maybe they'd been in astronomy and doing this stuff for years or decades, and here's this star that they've never seen. And so I feel like that they began to try to research information and find out if anyone else had ever seen this star. And certainly one of the, if they were in some library, let's say in Babylon or wherever they were, they would have had access in that library to the Jewish Bible, which is our Old Testament. And I don't know, but it's my idea that maybe they came across the prophecy about a star rising, and maybe through that research, this was possibly the only clue they had as to the origin of this star or what this star was. And maybe from this research into trying to figure out something about this star and finding some references in the Hebrew Bible about this star, that they began to research it more closely, and they found out that this was a sign and this was really a miracle. And I believe that it witnessed to them as a miracle, and I believe God spoke to them through this star in that way. I think it was a very scientific thing. I don't think there was any great big star that we so often see in pictures. I think there was a star up there that caught their attention that they'd never seen, could not explain its presence, and that they eventually were led to the Word of God, and then they had to accept that as the explanation for this star, and then they set out on their journey to find this king. Because certainly they would have thought that if God had placed a star, that this king would be this would be some kind of magnificent thing or ruler to be. So that's sort of the background, I think, on the wise men and maybe the tie-in of astronomy and science, because I think these guys probably were scientists. But there's 3 things that we read. There's a lot that you read in this account in Matthew about the Magi, or the wise men. But there's 3 things in here that I'm going to point out that I think speaks to each of us today about that we can take some lessons from their trip. And one of them has to do with the star. They say, and after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." This star, I think, was there for everybody to see. I don't think that that it was that they were the only ones. I believe anyone that looked up in the heavens could see this star. Certainly, I think any astronomers that wanted to, probably, if they had searched as diligently as the wise men, could have found out about the possible origin of the star. So I don't think that it was a unique vision that they had. I think it was something there that the whole world, that was there for the whole world. And I think that goes, I think that, it exemplifies the message and the call of God. It's a universal call, and it's a call that each one of us can hear if we want to take the time and we want to pay attention and listen to it. I think it's there for the whole world. Christ's call of lordship and his call to be Savior. It says in the Psalms, this is Paul. He's quoting out of Psalms, talking about the universality of the call of God to mankind. It says, consequently, faith comes through hearing the message, and the message is heard through the words of Christ. But I asked, did they not hear? And he answers himself here, of course they did. And he's quoting Psalms here. He says, their voice has gone out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the earth. So, just like the star was in the heavens and the whole world could see this star, the call of Christ goes out to the whole world, and it then becomes an individual thing to answer that call, like the wise men did in following this star. Another thing that we get about the wise men, and I think this is real pertinent to everyone, whether a person is saved or whether a person isn't. Everybody has these preconceived ideas. They have traditions. They have appearances and things that we evaluate Christianity. We evaluate God. We evaluate Christ, one another quite often by our preconceptions, our misconceptions, and so on. And one thing about the wise men that I think we fail to realize is these guys came from a court somewhere in the East. There's no doubt about that. I don't think these weren't poor people. These were wise men. They grew up or had spent probably a great deal of their life in royal surroundings. They see this star. They become convinced through their study that this star heralds the arrival of a new king, and they consider it a momentous enough occasion to strike out across a great distance to go and worship this king. I don't think they were going and looking for a baby. They were probably going to look for someone who'd been crowned. They were looking for a king, and so they go out, and the first place they go is to Jerusalem, which would be the logical place to go, since that was the seat of government in Israel. And that's, the word tells us that. They came to Jerusalem and they asked, where is he who has been born king of the Jews? Apparently they were right in the presence of Herod, or maybe they weren't in the presence of Herod, but Herod quickly found out about this, so they were very close to the very seat of power there. And they found out that through some of the priests who were there in Herod's court that this king of the Jews was to be born in Bethlehem. And Bethlehem, from what I can gather at this time, was a very poor, very small, was just the very opposite of a royal city. And so they had a lot, I'm sure, to overcome to go to Bethlehem. A lot of preconceived ideas about kings and about royalty and about power and about those things to go to Bethlehem and to find a small baby, I don't think he was in a manger at that point. I think they probably moved into a house, but to go and find this poor family and to realize that this was the king of the Jews. But, that's not an unusual thing, because when Samuel was sent to anoint David, God tells us in 1 Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him, talking about some of David's brothers. The Lord does not look at the things man looks at. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So, just like here where Samuel learned a good lesson there, I think that we can learn a good lesson from these wise men and how they were able to see beyond to put down their past experiences, their preconceptions, and their ideas of the way they think things ought to have been, and what they were used to, and to actually hear God and to see the truth that God was revealing to them. And then lastly, okay, and we'll talk about the gifts. The gifts have often, the gifts that the Magi gave, and of course God's gift to us, God's gift of Christ to us is where we continue to, that's the tradition upon where we share and give gifts to one another. But in the gifts that the Magi gave, they gave gold, they gave frankincense, and they gave myrrh. And I think that those gifts, and I don't know exactly what myrrh is, and this isn't my point, to really look at the gifts and what the gifts may signify. But what I like about what the Scripture says about their gifts, it says, on coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold and of incense and of myrrh. So the word here refers to what they gave him. It specifically says gold, incense, and myrrh, but it refers to them as treasures. And that's what God calls us to do also, is to give up our treasures, those things that we hold so dearly to ourselves. Let's see. And a good example of that, I think, is Paul. If anyone else thinks he has reason to put confidence in the flesh, I have more. Circumcised on the 8th day, of the people of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, in regard to the law, a Pharisee, as for zeal, persecuting the church, as for legalistic righteousness, faultless. Paul his treasure was the law, and he was a Hebrew of Hebrews in his own words. He was a Pharisee. He was a pious, a holy man, and he thought that what he was doing was right, but it was not. But that was a treasure, and that really had become an idol to him, the law, the Jewish law. And he was called to lay that down and to give that up on the road to Damascus when he was struck blind. And I'm sure that was a difficult thing. He disappears for several years, and we don't hear anything about him. We just don't know much about him from the time that he gets his sight back. He goes to some desert somewhere and he's gone, and I'm sure he struggled for many years out in that desert, probably reading the Word, trying to reconcile this new idea of Christ and a Messiah with his understanding and love and lifelong devotion to the law. And just as so as he did that, and as the wise men opened their treasures, that's what Christ calls us to do, is to not to maybe to give money or to give possessions. More often than not, it's some kind of a spiritual treasure that we have, and it's going to be the thing that we have to give, and it's going to be the hard thing for us to give up. That's it for me.
That's good, Steve.
Do we get to open up our presents?
Well, I have one thing though in closing. Jan gave me this prayer. It's a prayer for Christmas morning, and I'm going to read this as our closing prayer for this part of our time together today. The day of joy returns, Father in heaven, and crowns another year with peace and goodwill. Help us rightly to remember the birth of Jesus, that we may share in the song of the angels, the gladness of the shepherds, and the worship of the wise men. close the doors of hate and open the doors of love over all the world. Let kindness come with every gift and good desires with every greeting. Deliver us from evil by the blessing that Christ brings, and teach us to be merry with clean hearts. May the Christmas morning make us happy to be thy children, and the Christmas evening bring us to our bed with grateful thoughts, forgiving and forgiven. For Jesus' sake, amen.
Opening up for Christmas now, Daddy.
I want to tell you all something. We're going to today do something different with opening our presents. We're going to pass out all the presents. I don't want anybody to
See if back in it. Back in.
put it on here.
What was that?
Put that on.
Everything the water station back in. Look what McKenna got.
Make it open yours.
Hannah. Hannah. First.
Yeah.
No, Franklin's turn.
No, it's Mason's turn. After McKinley, he gets to open his presents, okay?
What you got, McKinley?
I'm one of
Yay!
Yay, McKinley!
Here's another present. Here. Let's do this present. Here. Again, look.
Hannah.
Look here.
Whoa!
Look
Look, McKinley got it.
Can you get it out?
You say ball.
I just took a picture. Say ball.
Bob.
I got mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mason, you can open your presents. Back there in the room. Oh, how long about it?
That's okay. I didn't know.
I'll run and get it.
Where are the presents from? Aaron and Becky.
I haven't. I figured you wouldn't have to worry about getting it.
Look at there. Thomas the Train. Wow, nice.
I wish it was my turn. Me too.
I mean, I will be soon.
Nice.
I don't like being fixed now.
Tommy.
That's the last longer.
Love.
All right. Then open up.
No, you told Daddy, Mac, and Grandpa thank you.
This is 38. 30, what is this?
Thank you.
I mean,
Oh! Neat, you like it. Did it have that superimposing on or whatever?
Super Zoom Zoom?
No, that super...
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you could see.
Like you could take pictures of something and put it on what you're doing.
Help him get that thing open.
You have a superimposed button.
Ray, did you read anything
I
about
didn't. I didn't get one on mine. I was doing something. You don't ever
There you go.
What's it do?
It's like an inset picture,
We don't
right?
have that.
Like you can take a picture of like a Pepsi Cola bottle, and then it just takes the color out of it, and like you're taping all of us, it'll have Pepsi written across it. You know, like a video.
It doesn't have that.
Jennifer, mine didn't either.
We'll take it back.
Take it back.
Which one of you are the youngest? Jacob or
Nicholas.
Mama had a big present, and Mama said that it was hers, but when she opened it, it was real.
Oh.
I guess she just did that to me.
Oh, how pretty.
But I had the biggest.
Tell Grandma, thank you for giving them some sugars and tell them thank you. You know who that's from?
Put that vest on that boy.
You don't care either.
Hey. Wow.
Ooh, all right.
Put the vest on.
Well, I'm sure one of the kitchen
Mason?
Did you put your vest on? I think to the right of the step in the bottom
We're
drawer.
gonna have a look at it.
Put your vest on. Here, Mason, here. I don't know where these go. Put your vest on. Are you a cowboy?
I like that.
Look at there. Boy, howdy.
Jay, what is that? What is it?
Jacob, it's a rock.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Put it on, let me take a picture of it real quick. You make this one?
Jacob got one.
That means big. You need a little tiny one, Max got a little tiny one.
You need some of those, glasses real. All right.
This is Brett and Jim's present.
Oh, thank you. Look what you get to do, honey.
Doorknob?
Motion light.
I've been asking for
Oh,
something
light?
a year. Thank you. Yeah. I want it on my front
There's a
corner.
pillow Mom made for Brett.
Can you do it? See, there's that people behind you.
Brett, what else did you get? Screwdrivers? Okay. Steve and Becky's turn.
Y'all turn.
There's something else in there now.
And my mom.
There's Steve's behind. That's a nice picture.
Must be the bowl.
I didn't want you to throw them out.
All right.
This is
No,
Becky's.
how about that? Good. I love that little vest too.
That's Jan's
Wait a minute,
hair.
y'all ready? Is it ready? Yeah, I think so. I'd like it. I've always wanted that. I knew it.
What is it, Becky?
Yeah, no, the shit, you don't know what's in that box.
All right.
The camp. Is that the
Better make
camping?
sure that's what's in there.
Becky, is that the camping set?
Yeah.
Look, camping scene.
What you got, Steve?
Hey.
You better take a good look at how it's in there.
I
Study it when you take it out. 'cause you can't get it back.
And Steve has a trifle dish.
What?
I didn't get one.
Trifle
I didn't like
dish?
those there.
Pardon?
Is that a trifle dish?
Yeah, I didn't.
A trifle dish.
Max picked that one. I came home with it and I didn't know he was shopping.
That's what it's called, a trifle?
Yeah, for desserts.
Or truck.
That's a trifling dish.
I love a dish. Oh, I love that.
You can't put nothing in that, honey.
Thank you very
That's beautiful.
Yep.
Okay, we're ready now.
Mom, Matt, thanks. I'll love you next week. I can figure out how to get this back in here.
That's pretty package.
Now, I know that let's show you something.
What?
When you get the place and we'll read about it.
Who is this?
Let me get the batteries in and we'll look, okay? Jacob. See all this cooking stuff?
Oh, you got a
First
cooking
trip.
thing.
I have to get
Ooh.
some
Mommy, look.
Isn't that pretty?
Pretty.
That's a brush. God, you don't need it.
That is pretty. Get those good and big.
What was that, Matt?
Small and tight.
Oh, they are. Thank you.
Ridiculous, that's sweet.
Greg, are you watching McKinley?
No,
Mom and Mac really piled up on the loot. You should see their stack. There's Mac. All of his. And then all of Mom's are behind Laura.
Okay, it says.
Serious shining.
There's Steve's behind again. It's a nice shot, isn't it?
And who is this from? Mason and...
Well, let's play.
Oh, boy, I need
Mason.
some. Have you seen how mine I'm wearing out at you? Thank
Mason.
you.
That's what I'm gonna
Mason.
Wait, don't do that yet, honey.
Mom, you got
Is that for me by myself?
Mason.
Yeah, that's for you. Wait, I gotta read the
Taking look. Looks like they've never present you made.
Did you make this?
Well, we worked hard on it.
Tabitha, could you get him?
Step aside, Aaron. Sit down,
That's
Mason.
it.
Sit down, Aaron. Do that.
Oh. Hey, don't do that. The
You
one
know
under,
what?
if you hit that record button, it'll erase the message.
You know what, Grandpappy? McKinley putting the paper.
Okay, listen to this.
That's not all that is. Let's wait.
The Christmas tree, we can't even paint it.
Mason?
Christmas tree. Three of them. And look at what your Christmas tree.
It just said Christmas tree.
That's a good picture. I love that.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Mason. Thank you.
Build the command base.
Give me a kiss.
Attach rails.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Attach rails.
Mason, you can do that to McKinley.
Now that-
Let's get away from this wild boy.
You already put the rails on.
Lauren?
Wait,
Lauren?
wait, for attack mission.
Lauren?
Load
Would you get that bottle and give it to Tabitha?
Yeah,
The bottle?
we couldn't wrap
And give it to Tabitha. It's behind those presents.
That would've been a little hard.
Please?
Don't
Thank
do
you.
what I'm doing this.
Tabitha's got her.
Break it, honey.
That's neat, once you get it over, then it will back up.
That's me. That's Mom.
Mason?
Well, thank you. It's neat. It's
Don't,
neat.
please
The
don't.
way it is, we have to show me how to play.
Thank you. You're welcome. There's one more prize over there. This was our gift. Come on.
Wait, Nicholas. Wait. All right, you're fixing that.
Don't you give that one? Look in it.
I'll tell you how it works. Mama, how do you
Use the power handle and control dial to control elevation.
Oh yeah, Mommy gave this to me.
All right, you just start doing that.
Oh, you went back and got a piano.
I did.
Think how you open up these.
Does it have
Think
another?
how
There's
you
that
open
type
these.
of dice with it.
Oh, see.
Will that feel good?
Oh, you want
Wait
me
it,
to tell
wait it,
me.
wait it.
You just got to start on
It's got
that.
the book that says how to do
Move,
it.
lift off, slowly push.
Boy, thanks. Okay, is this both of us?
Cool, cool.
Girl from Greg and Rebecca.
That goes on something
Let
else.
me try. Can I try?
Uh-huh.
That's from McKinley, too.
Wait a minute. Y'all move back.
Okay, and the kid.
Oh, he did one. This is cute.
Would you like those?
No slide.
Lots of candles. That's just, I needed those for Christmas.
Well, you have them for next
Can
year.
I try? This is
Yeah, you're gonna have to move everything though.
Oh,
Wait, let me
It
do
is
it
pretty.
first. Wait, honey, you get behind it. You get behind it.
Pretty.
Greg and Rebecca and like candy.
This is
Slowly push it.
Now here is the present from
Nick took the cost.
all
Can
of
you
you.
try? Mom, you can put the silverware. Try. I'm gonna get it back.
Saturday delivery.
Maybe you just do it.
Overnight delivery is what they have.
Overnight plus Saturday.
Marcus needs to know us.
That couldn't cost $40.
For Saturday delivery and overnight,
Oh, really?
it could very easily hit that.
Oh, I thought she meant just
That.
the same.
Forward a little bit.
I figured it was something away from it.
There you go.
Grandbobby,
Yeah.
Grandbobby,
Wait.
fifth grader.
Oh, look
Let
at
me
that.
try.
That's pretty.
Let me try that. Okay?
Mom, they did not have petite. They did not have
Wait.
petite robes, so I had to get a short one.
I might take it back and
We
get a long
tried.
one.
It's
They didn't have any.
I don't mean petite.
Don't
Oh,
get
she
to
told me
it. That
petite.
makes
Well, that was so the length would be right on the long one. But I'd rather hem it and have a long one.
Well, I didn't know what to do. I thought about that.
Let me try.
comes to my knees.
I see.
Let me try that thing. Let me try now.
Okay.
It's my turn.
Alright.
I almost got you along and let you have it, but I didn't want to make you work.
Stay behind it.
Yeah, you gotta stand back here.
Tell Jennifer that was from Jennifer in the end.
Thank you,
This one-
Jennifer,
This one will probably go to him.
Jennifer, and Marcus, and Roy, and Noah. Thank you, and Stephanie. Is this fun?
Can I try? Don't do it that way.
No, we can't put the pom-pom in it,
What
honey.
we use for it, this is for
We
the
gotta
brass.
have it all
Alright,
clear.
red.
Nicholas, you need to move that pillow right there a little bit. Wait a minute, Jason.
This is bad. Wait, Jacob.
I got to do this way.
That's Max.
Oh,
Nicholas, you're gonna have to move or it's gonna get you. You gotta do real
Can I try? Can I try?
that,
No, honey.
that's some more back. Nicholas is writing.
Well, he did it. He really did that.
He did?
Uh-huh.
I especially he's getting better.
Now, he did that and say,
It's a
oh,
little hard in the rock.
Good. Nicholas?
Max. That's
wrote
to
that
you
so
and Mom
good.
together.
This one.
Mhm.
she came out when she wrote on her package.
Oh, boy.
Jacob, let Nicholas sit down.
Oh.
Jacob.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Bobby, the ends,
Yeah.
the legs, will lift up.
Well, look, it's already
Full
full.
of stuff.
How about that?
Those are empty.
Oh.
For you to put stuff in. Hit the jackpot.
That's nice, Jan.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I
I tried to get you different occasions.
Oh, well, that guy got some green buds.
Yeah, if you needed some.
Not so loud, boy.
Yeah, watch your feet, Shug.
This is the one that Rebecca won.
There.
Jacob requires Nicholas, you know what? You need to take out and move that where you're in a big space by yourself.
Do it fast if you can.
Jacob, huh?
Do it fast.
Get up.
Y'all have another present together back there.
Got it?
I think that's
Which one?
That one with the blue on it?
This?
I think that's the one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Watch out, sweetie.
Mom, you have a bag over there. You do have a little bag. You should have it there.
This is for both of us.
Now get it up some.
Lauren?
Get it up some.
Can you look for a little bag?
There you
Who's this
go.
from?
That's to Mom.
Goodness me.
That's from the California gang.
This?
Y'all too.
Okay.
How you doing? Now what next?
Well, it's got all these little things, but I just went to do that, and when you get home, you can practice it on
It sure is. How about that?
Now, Matt, do you see that's a recondition tool?
Huh?
Sears has recondition tools.
Yeah.
You can take it back and get another one, but I couldn't get the bits for what
Get it high.
they ran out of the special purchase
Gotta get it up.
for the whole price. But the warranty is the same with it and everything.
Is that right?
Can you lift it up with the...
That's
Can you make that go up
I'm
and
glad
down?
they didn't too short, Rebecca, because they get one of the Dremel tools.
Here, Jacob.
Marcus, you see what a Dremel tool is?
What's the Dremel?
It has 5 speeds on it.
That little box here with that.
Oh, I
There were
know.
some that had high and low.
Uh-huh. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
California gang.
Oh.
There's a little bottle right here. You know where it is?
Okay, now,
They have a mini rotary tool. Have you seen it? A mini one.
Max got a kind of.
I got a big one.
They have a mini one. It's even smaller than that one.
Oh, a clown.
Wait, Nicholas, wait.
Two clowns.
I just like that.
That is so cute.
store present.
Okay, now don't get close to it again. You sit right there.
Is that yours? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan really wants you to stay over there and tear it off.
I'm just afraid it's gonna get her eyes.
That looks like Mac's not gonna get to open as much. You got to open all of it.
Where's your choo-choo train?
Watch me open now. He didn't get a chance to do that.
Mac got some cards there. Read the back of it, Mac. Look at the back of the tie.
Well, if we can't see it, we'll have to put it away.
It's a hard hat.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Mama, where my mom
School time. Home improvement.
From home improvement, yeah.
Necklace.
Nathan,
Thank you.
I want to see you wear it. I didn't notice. I mean, I couldn't mess up getting it short. I knew you could take it back. So.
you want to see me in this? Jennifer? How you like it? I
Mom
may
says
take it back, don't get me alone. Keep my legs warm.
they may have a better selection too after Christmas of
Okay.
petites. They said they have very few come in, but they do have them.
What's that, Matt?
The organizer.
Here, sit down and they all are.
That's great. I like that. Thank you. This is also.
You no wonder it was heavy.
Good, look at that. I follow you, will you?
Lauren said, just for Daddy Mac.
I wanted one of them for years.
Well, he's always wanted to try.
I've always wanted to try that. And now I can.
See there, Mac? You do one, you got it all. One of these, those are petitions.
This is also pleasant.
Come on, big sir. Don't come back.
Isn't that nice? See, they all open. You don't have to pull every little drawer. And these are the dividers. You put these in.
That is nice. Okay,
I like that.
That's for me and Daddy.
Well, wait. Necklaces take a lot of time.
I thought it was
Oh,
like this.
goodness.
What's that?
So I just put the
Yeah,
name.
this is chocolate.
Can I try?
It's a what?
Nicholas, can I please?
The programmable calculator.
Please.
Something got that out of that.
Huh?
Something got that out of that.
Please. Please.
Might not have been anything.
You can find, you got this, you should go train every day. I was trying to get through that.
Calculator.
See it right there,
Let
Mason.
me go.
See it?
I've got everything on it.
Wait.
Not yet.
If I could learn to
Get this
use
Mason.
everything that's on there, I'd have to be.
Here, get your choo-choo train. Move out of the way, please.
Wait, Necklace, wait.
Hurry, Nolan, hurry.
Mason.
Mason. Mason. All right, bring it up here. Bring it here. Front line. Bring it up. Bring it.
Mama,
Hurry,
let's
hurry,
play
hurry.
this game. I'm
I
free.
don't want to play it right now, but you guys can play it. Come here.
He's okay, Tab.
Now,
Hey, Matt.
Tabitha and me.
After that, will you open the one with the red bow?
Watch out, Hannah.
I don't know how much I've got left on this page.
Okay.
Wasn't that a good way to leave?
Yes, it was.
Oh, some boxes of snow.
Whoa.
Move that box. All right, yeah, okay, now you're ready.
Coffee.
Coffee, goodness. Gourmet coffee.
You need a coffee?
Yeah.
These don't help you drink it.
Tabitha Mason to help the drink.
How do you make it go
That was
off?
Mason.
How do you make it go off?
This one,
Okay.
From the California gang.
huh? This is
How did you go?
California.
Call, just like we call.
All right, now, tell me what you're doing in there. What's making it go up? That over there?
You have to turn backwards and then pull it backwards.
Mom says nobody notices pretty wrapping. She rips into the pretty wrapping too. She doesn't
Okay,
notice
that,
it.
you turn that
I
around.
did notice them.
Good.
More
I
power.
did, every time you had a pretty
One
bow.
more power.
I like that right.
Push your
Just
left.
right here, just right here a little bit more. Push
Did
it
it
forward
herself.
slowly.
Looks like part of the face.
A little more.
There you go.
There you go. See
Yeah,
all that
now
now?
it's going. It really is.
Tabitha, thank you.
You really got it going, don't you?
Right here.
It might blow up if you do a
I feel like it's gonna be here. Huh? Yes, from California jail.
Okay, well, there they are, thank you.
Hey, thank you, California
Put it
jail.
on, let them see you.
That's pretty. I can tell that's gonna
Watch
be
your eyes,
comfortable, too.
everybody.
Yeah, that is so nice.
Wait, Nicholas.
Look at that. Look like
Short and tight, huh?
it. Yeah, Jordan.
That is a one-size-fits all.
Nicholas,
That's
come
all
right
right.
here. Right there, you do that,
You
honey.
should open that first because the lounge
Oh,
around.
Jake, you got it up in the air, so
That's
good
right.
down. Up and down.
This is from getting red and different.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom.
I'll let you do that next.
Mom. Mom. Where are, we didn't get those.
I think I know what it is. Right
They've already done it.
Mom.
here.
Where
No,
are
they
those
haven't.
little
They haven't told me.
certificates for weekends? Where are the weekends at? Right.
They weren't even interested in
Hey,
it.
Josh, that's
They took it right off.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to this magazine coming
Flying
every,
backwards.
every 2 months.
Boy, he's an ace pilot. Whoa.
They can take one of those,
Boy, I
guys.
tell you, I really hit the jackpot here, didn't I?
Nice road.
That is nice.
Thank you for that. Beautiful.
I like that reindeer bag myself.
That's Andy Victor.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, man.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas.
Watch out, Nicholas, watch your eyes now, sweetie.
That's nice. I like that.
You know what it is?
Huh?
What is it?
It's a pickup
Oh,
truck.
yeah, okay.
She knows I don't like to bend over anymore. The zero trigger finder, yeah, that's good to have too. Stuck in stopper.
Stuck in stoppers.
Yeah, I need a new one of them bad. Thank you, honey.
That's all.
Watch
You
your
got
eyes,
me figured
guys.
out just right.
That single process you
One more.
Y'all lost half your
Barbarian.
audience.
Don't forget, when I let them all together, they weren't looking at us when they did it all the time anyway.
I like it. I like it like this.
Who you filming
I've got a present for the rest of you all.
For Jennifer and you.
Who's camera?
Mrs. Clay.
That's
camera?
Loose fit.
Do it in a minute. Nice of him.
Yep.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
I thought Mac had a camera.
You got it.
Doesn't work. There's something's wrong
All
with it.
next week you and Mommy
Well, it's not charged for us all already.
Oh, it works.
You were gonna rent one?
Marcus on post.
Who?
Marcus.
I just wanted to tell all you grown-up people that I give you a free weekend of babysitting. That goes along with it.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Brett and I get two, right?
No, that's what Rick tried to do.
What's that?
Oh, okay.
Try to prorate that thing. You crazy? You want to get your advantage and have more of the others.